Welcome. We're Joel and Christy, and you're watching or listening to the Our Frugal Debt Free Journey podcast. Now, today we're going to talk about um, the disconnect that we see in the frugal debt free community. It really is a problem that we just want to kind of discuss and hopefully start a dialogue. Hopefully start a dialogue about. To be honest, we don't know if there's an answer to the problem, but maybe if we start talking about it, that we can find a solution. So first of all, we want to talk about what the problem is. It's kind of weirdly. I think you would agree with me on this, but it's kind of weirdly coming from two different aspects, right?
Yeah. On one side of the coin, you have people who have expendable income and they're just trying to get out of debt. They don't need to be extreme if they just cut back in some areas, maybe like their groceries or
Mm-hmm.
just or something like
Sure.
that, or how to hack some things to save some money. Then they will have that expendable income they need to throw extra to their debt, and they're happy with that. And honestly, they're just frustrated with the give up coffee tip because
That,
it's used a
yeah,
lot.
kind of explain that to us. What the coffee tip
The
is.
coffee tip is to stay out of the cafes. Don't buy coffee out. Make it at home.
Yeah.
It's shared a lot in the frugal community to not eat out and not to get coffee out, and to eat all your food at home and make all your coffee at home.
And I'll say this, and I think you would agree with me too. But if you have disposable income that you have set aside for those things, it's okay to go to a coffee shop. I mean, we do it.
Yeah.
We have gift cards. People give us gift cards sometimes, so we use that money to do eating out or to go to a coffee shop. I know we got you some Starbucks yesterday
Mm-hmm.
on our way home from our grocery haul video shopping. So we used a gift card for that. And
Right.
so if you have disposable income, then going to a coffee shop is okay if you budgeted for that, correct?
Yes, but we don't always have a gift card when we go to the coffee shop.
Yeah.
We have what we set aside in our budget. It's called fun money or
Yep.
entertainment money, and it's for things that we want to do that's outside of our home. So if you've set a budget and you stay within the parameters of that budget, then it's okay to buy the coffee or go to the restaurant. It's all right.
Okay, so it's okay to do that.
It's okay to do that.
Okay,
in our
excellent.
opinion.
Yeah. So what's the other side of that coin? Kind of tell us what that is.
That is somebody who is in an extremely desperate financial situation. They don't have money for the coffee. They don't have money for eating out. They don't even know how they're going to pay their mortgage this month. And they get frustrated because they tune into a frugal channel and their first tip is don't get coffee in a coffee shop. And so they're frustrated because they're like, I'm already not doing
Yeah,
that.
yeah. They're already not doing that.
Yeah, exactly. And it's like, I need you to give me a tip that's different, that's going to save me money in some way that's different than something
Sure.
I'm not even trying to do right now.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
So you're saying that what they're already not having the coffee. They're
Right.
already not going out because they don't have the disposable income for that.
Exactly.
Okay.
Exactly.
All right. So they're frustrated as well. So you got two people on the sides of the frustrated coin because we're kind of giving them, and we've done it before too. We give those tips from time to time as well, and you get those frustrated on both ends because they're getting the same tips every time. They're not getting anything new, but there are people, wouldn't you say, there are people out there who need those tips. So we want to keep doing those, right? And who would be those people?
Well, it's kind of like when we started our debt-free journey. It wasn't necessarily that we didn't know that reducing buying coffee shop coffee was something that would save us money, but we literally took in all the frugal YouTubers trying to get it all, hear all the tips, and have somebody honestly tell us, here's some ways to do it. And we were new to it.
Right.
We were brand new to it. Didn't know.
Yeah.
And so there are times when there's somebody who is new to it and they honestly just need somebody to tell them all the tips.
Yeah.
So
Absolutely, yeah.
mhm.
And so what we're saying, so what you're saying is, if I'm hearing you correctly, is that for most frugal YouTubers, we kind of point this out in our videos, uh, and we point this out in our videos because you can't assume that everyone is in the same place.
That's right.
You can't assume that everyone is eating out and drinking coffee and living beyond their means. Some of them are just trying to scrape by.
Right.
And so they're looking for something new and different to help them to be able to save that money that they need to get out of debt. Correct?
Right.
Okay.
I will say this kind of like when, if you are familiar with us, you know that Joel used to be a preacher.
Yeah, I was about to say this.
Yeah,
I was about to say this. Okay.
Go ahead.
Thanks for stealing my thunder. So yeah, when I was a pastor, one of the dilemmas that I had every week is that not everybody was on the same spiritual level that everybody else was in the congregation. You got some that are very spiritually mature, some that are medium spiritually mature, some that are just walking into the church for the first time, and so you have to kind of formulate your sermons in a way that reaches all of those levels of people. Right. You want some in-depth stuff for the people that are really spiritually mature. If not, they're going to tune you out. Mm-hmm. You want to have some kind of medium stuff in there for the ones that need a little extra growth, because if you don't, they're going to tune you out. And if you don't have something for the first timer, somebody that's never heard the stories before or the accounts before, things like that, right, they're going to tune you out and not come back again. If you just stay totally deep all the time. Sometimes you have to hit those surface level things to make sure that they stay with you as well.
That's right.
Okay.
And so it's the same with frugal YouTubers, is trying to figure out how to have the balance of sharing the tip that somebody's never heard with the balance of the people who've heard all of them.
Right.
Is very difficult.
Sure.
Can be very challenging.
Absolutely. All right. So there are kind of two types of YouTubers, right? Mm-hmm. Some things we kind of want to talk about today, but so kind of share with us what those two types of YouTubers are.
Okay. So first you have the kind that shares several layers of frugality. They might start off their videos talking about coffee, sure, and eating out. And then they might transition somewhere in the video, or they might do totally different videos that is strictly about extreme frugality. And it might be things like how to reduce your water usage, or you're reducing your electricity in a way that is like really extreme, but their levels change throughout the videos.
Sure.
So there's that kind. And then there's the other kind, which is kind of where we fall, which is just basically sharing our own experience.
Yeah.
And so we can only talk about really what we're actually doing if we're basically basing this off our own experience.
Yeah, we could give you some extreme frugal tips if we wanted to, but we're not really extreme in our frugality. Yeah. Because we do still eat out and go to the parks. And
and we say we don't feel like it's authentic for us to say that something, here's what you do, but no, that honestly, we're not doing that ourselves. Yeah. So we're really honest about where we are. And the reason we started our channel over 4 years ago was because I had been through a situation where when he lost his job, I started gaining weight because we were doing all these like extreme frugal recipes and stuff. And my body wasn't taking it because I had gone from eating like all organic and grass-fed and blah, blah, blah to here's all this canned and jarred stuff because it's cheaper.
Yeah.
And so we started our channel to figure out, is there a way to eat healthier on a budget? And is there a way to do it without breaking the bank? And that's what we share, is the ways that we have learned to save money on our groceries and to live a healthier life without breaking the bank. Right. So our stuff does tend to be not extreme because we're looking for balance on both sides of health and frugality.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
Well,
So
I was going to say we do sometimes share some extreme frugality stuff, but it's
Yep.
usually like in a live stream, and we can link some of those in our show notes. But we basically have gone through a list of an article where they were saying these are extreme
Yeah.
frugality tips, and we talked about whether or not we do them.
Yeah, absolutely.
And
Yeah.
we allowed our audience to share their opinions in the chat.
Yep.
So that's kind of how we do sneak some extreme frugality in there, but it's not something we're doing, so we don't feel like it's something that we should lean on.
Right. So here's what I'm hearing, and this is kind of the dilemma. People come to our channel, come to your channel, come to Frugal channels as a whole, wanting to hear something different, but sometimes they hear the same tips that we give a lot of times. I know we've had some of those comments before, and they're valid. We want to give some validity to that because we do a lot of times share the same old things, and so we want to try to find out what the solution is and kind of how do you think we fix the disconnect?
Okay, so first of all, I want to speak to the frugal YouTubers about what we might do. What I think is if we can figure out a way to research and find more tips, that would be good, though that, believe me, I understand that's a challenge because there's not always more out there.
Sure.
Like you can spend hours trying to find the new tip that no one's thought of.
Yep.
But maybe we need to work on that. And also, if we could figure out a way to maybe more clearly explain what people can expect from our channel or what they can expect in the video. Like this video is going to be, like a medium level of tips. It's for somebody who's just needs somebody to give them some of the obvious stuff. Something, I'm not sure how to say that, but something in there to let them know that this video is going to be extreme frugality in this one. We are looking for more ways to include more frugal tips that don't fall under the grocery savings tips because that's our specialty.
Yep.
But we are trying to research a little bit more just so that we can give that more often. But like I said, it would probably be in the form of articles that we read and we talk about it's kind of like our reaction to those articles.
Yeah, absolutely.
And then the other thing is we are going to try our best to make sure that we emphasize more often that our key purpose in our channel is to talk about how to save money on groceries so that you can live a healthy life on a budget.
Yep.
So it's not going to be extreme. It's going to be like middle of the road tips.
Yeah, and don't be afraid on your channel to, if you don't do extreme frugality, don't be afraid to send them somewhere else. Kind of shout out people that do extreme frugality and let them know, hey, you can go over and check these out, link them in your descriptions, and that way we're all sharing information together, and they know that they can find that in different places. It's good that we help each other out from time to time, just to kind of show that that there are some answers out there. If they're looking for something that we're not giving, then they can find it in other places.
Right. We had a comment that was basically saying that our tips weren't extreme enough, that they needed something more. And so I responded with, have you checked out this channel, this channel, this channel? I listed off about 5. I said, if not, please check those out. They are extreme frugality tips. They are better based for someone on a low income or something like that. So yes, he's right. If we can help build other frugal YouTubers up that way, that would help.
Yeah. All right. So tell us what the second solution is for the disconnect. Something we kind of see there.
Okay. The other solution is actually going toward the people who are looking for frugal YouTube tips. If you are tuning into frugal YouTube channels and they are frustrating you with their coffee tip, then what I want to encourage you to do is to not turn them off so fast. Maybe they started out the video with that tip and plan to transition into more extreme tips toward the end of the video. They're starting with the easy one for the new people, and they're moving toward the more extreme.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. If that's not the case, and you get through the whole video and think, know all that, and you don't see other videos on their channel that seem like they're more extreme or have better tips or different tips than you've ever heard, then don't get mad at them. They're just give them grace and move on to a channel that maybe you've never seen before. There's a lot of channels out there. I mean, ours is still considered very small, but I know there's even smaller channels than us that just have not been discovered yet. And so people don't know they even exist. So, don't just put in the same YouTube channel. Look around, browse. There might be one that's speaking exactly to what you need.
That's correct.
And you just haven't come across them yet.
Yeah, that's right. All right, so those are just kind of our thoughts. Drop us some comments below. If you're watching this on YouTube, drop us some comments below and let us know what you feel like the solutions are to the dilemmas. If you don't feel like there's a dilemma, then you can let us know that as well. But we'd love to hear those, and maybe some frugal tips you might have that maybe someone isn't saying. If you have those, we'd love to hear those in the comments as well.
Or if there's a topic on something that you feel like no one's talking about and you want to suggest that, let us know in the comments. If so, we'll either put together a video or a podcast in the future about it, or we will, like we said earlier, we will share some channels that we feel like are talking about that, and maybe you just haven't stumbled across them yet.
All right. So thanks for sharing those tips with us today. I hope you've enjoyed today's broadcast. It was fun putting it together, and kind of fun having the discussion on those issues that we kind of see in the frugal community there. But I believe that's going to do it today for Our Frugal Debt-Free Journey podcast. I'm going to get that right one time. Our Frugal Debt-Free Journey podcast for this month. Join us next month. We'll have another show coming up as well. Not sure what we're going to do it on yet. It's going to be a surprise. And so we're Joel and Chrissy. And as we say on our YouTube channel, The Long Run with Joel and Chrissy, don't forget it's a long run. Give yourself a little grace.